Hello everyone, my name's Steve Dinking and I'm a proud Team Head member.
My name is Eric Lang. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm also on Team Head, and today we are going to get ready for the PPA Tour stop in Atlanta. We've got the guys from Total Pickleball out here, and we're going to engage in some high-level rec play. You guys ready?
I know I am.
All right, let's do it.
I got
you.
Oh, that's the way to start it.
First point, let's go.
Let's go. I just want to interject here, and this is something that I see a lot of my students do at a ton of different skill levels. Spencer served here. The return of serve was hit quite well, I felt, but what was missing there, I felt, was that transition a bit quicker to the kitchen line, because what ended up happening, I felt you got stalled mid-court. That allows your opponent to be able to, kind of see some bigger angles and stuff like that. So hustle your butt, get to the kitchen after the return.
Okay, the goal with the serve is to really maximize your leverage. So I'm gonna try to get as high as possible on my feet, as much of my body momentum going forward to drive my serve as deep as possible and make it tough on the opponent. Okay, 2-1-2.
Oh,
that's just a good shot, but my serve was good.
I got it. Oh,
They've got to communicate, right?
there is. We'll talk about this right now. There's a perfect example where I made the decision on the third ball to drive it with the idea that I'm going to get a mid-court fifth shot drop opportunity. And in that particular instance, we did not communicate very well there. We both jammed our paddles in the middle. Step one of the transition process was complete with the drive. That fifth shot drop opportunity was there, but we didn't communicate on it. And I think next time we're gonna get that.
I got it.
Oh!
Yeah.
I just want to talk really quickly and not too long about what the purpose of dinking is. And for me, it's a couple of very important reasons. One, I want to be able to move my opponent laterally in hopes that he's going to be able to pop that ball up so I can attack. And number two, I want to make it uncomfortable for him to make a decision whether he takes it out of the air or lets it bounce. So if you can combine the depth control of the dink with the lateral movement, you give them two decisions to make on the court, and that always can translate in a lot of cases to that slight pop-up where we can attack. Oh, I just want to point out one quick thing that I thought Eric did exceptionally there. Eric was able to, and I call it, weather the storm. I was in an attackable situation. He was in a defensive spot, a little bit off the kitchen line, and Eric electing to reset those from an off-balance spot allowed him to stay in the point and start the process of building it again. Yep. And look what happened here.
Yep.
It turned the point around for his team.
Yours.
Got
You.
watch. All right.
It's defense.
Good job.
One more ball back. If you get one more ball
So
back,
there's an
that can lead to a
example
mistake.
of where you don't always necessarily have to hit the baller third shot drop. What happened in that point? I missed my drop a little bit high. What did I do? I didn't charge into the kitchen to where I'm surely gonna lose the point. We stayed back as a team. We created distance from our opponent and was able to actually reset on the 5th point and create an error on the other side. Those little court positioning oversights, I call them, can really make a difference in the outcome of a point.
Yep.
Anything to add on that?
Yeah, I find myself oftentimes following my partner's drop into the net, sort of in a inefficient, non-strategic manner, and oftentimes I'll find the ball hits my feet, right? I'll be out of position. Whereas if I would stay back, as Steve was describing, be a little more calculated with my approach to the net, we tend to win more points. So just being disciplined, waiting for the right ball to advance up to the kitchen line is a better approach.
I got it. Here we go.
That's very good.
That's some extreme power right there. Pardon the pun.
Nice drive and drop. Drive on that 3rd, drop on the 5th.
Right.
Steve Dinking staple.
That's right. And one more quick thing to add. With the strategy on a 3rd ball drive, it doesn't matter what side of the court I'm on, a higher percentage of the time, I'm typically gonna drive straight ahead or through the middle, because that can also allow my partner to create positional pressure at the kitchen line on a good drive. If I drive cross court, and I'm not saying I never go there, but if I do drive cross court and my partner does decide to cross, it's a much easier counterattack from the opponent to go behind. So that's why I stay away a higher percentage of the time from the cross court drives.
Yeah, for sure. And as you mentioned, it gets your partner involved. When you're driving that 5th, Howard can crash the middle and put a lot of pressure on us, especially if your drive is low and cuts off some of the angles that we may have up here at the net.
And this is a real quick tip too. I will drive cross court, of course, if I see my opponent lagging through the transition zone. They've stalled, they got stuck somewhere here. Of course, I'm gonna go to the player that's in a very compromised spot in that situation.
Yep. This is where we take a timeout.
Okay.
Work on our strategy.
So here's a situation where my partner and I have been fortunate to rattle off about 4 or 5 points in a row. And I don't know about you guys, but I always like to slow the play down. This game is about momentum. I want to slow my opponent's momentum. I'm going to take a timeout. We're going to talk as a team, and we're going to figure out what can we do strategically or tactically to come out after the timeout and stop their momentum. So anything to add?
100%. It's noticing when you feel the tide is turning is when you should take your timeout. You have 2 timeouts per game. You have to use them. Spencer and I, what do you think? What should we do?
Stop making mistakes.
Step number 1.
Well,
we're both tall guys, right? About 6'3". Probably need to use our length a little bit more, put them under some more pressure, because they are moving us around at the kitchen line, and we got to bring the firepower to our opponents.
And I want to add one more layer to that. I think what they can do, and I'm going to give them a little hint here, I've been finding a lot of their returns of serve to be shallow. And regardless of who they return to, it's a green light for us to drive and create positional pressure after the drive. So I think they need to make an adjustment on the return of serve and figure out how to create more depth there. And if it were me, I would stand back a little bit further because we're both serving bombs and your returns are landing too short.
Okay.
Okay.
You.
Oh, look at that. Return depth, put pressure on me, made my 3rd ball drop a little more challenging.
You. Yours. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, I want to point out one thing here that I see all day, every day. We went as a team from being in control of this point. We had a ball right here in our strike zone. We had both of our opponents pinned at the baseline. The decision here to drop the ball can invite your opponent to the kitchen for free. And what happened? We lost this point. keep the pressure on your opponent when you have this ball high. Of course, I'm not gonna say never hit a drop shot from this scenario. All depends on what's going on here. These two guys are young and athletic. They are gonna track these balls down. We were in a good spot until we weren't.
Yep. 5-9-2. You. Communication, really important. So those were middle balls that I could have taken. Spencer sitting in the middle with his forehand. I'm gonna let him take those balls all day, and you saw what he did, he put it away. Good serve.
All right, good game, you guys.
Playing, guys.
Good playing. Awesome
Shots,
game, you
shots.
guys. So there's a very small snippet of some fundamentals, court positioning tips, shot selection, where I think it's super valuable if you want to get to that next skill level. Really understand how your shot selection can dictate what happens with a point, with a game, or even with a match.
We're both getting ready for the PPA Tour stop here in Atlanta, and these rec games are a perfect opportunity to practice our serves, our returns, being very consistent with our shots and building confidence. I had a good time. How about you?
Oh my God, this was fantastic. Thanks for having us.
Thanks to the guys from Total Pickleball. You can find all the head products at totalpickleball.com.